Shaking Bone Gang, and welcome back to another video. We try and get out this wind some. There we go, that's a little better. Get out that wind so you don't have to deal with all that wind noise. So if you don't recognize the spot that I'm standing, it's because that shed isn't here anymore. Finally got that thing moved. Had my boy Tofiel and his gang come on over here with Buddy's Carpentry. Help me move that bad boy. Well, this is what that looked like. So here it is 6 months later, and we finally got the shed moved. And not only that, that was earlier this week, and now today, tomorrow, and I believe the next day, a mission team came in from Oklahoma, visited our church, and offered to give a hand. So we got some folks over here in the back helping me cut up some trees, getting that out the way. I got some folks under the house scooping out mud, getting some more of that floton that was still between me and my neighbor's house. And then they're gonna help my neighbors take care of some other stuff. Frank's got some stuff that he still needs help with. I mean, it's still a mess, but you know, progress is being made. I really appreciate these folks who come and help out, kind of boost the spirits, get some things moving. Yeah, let's go see what they're doing. Here we go. The Midwest crew scooping some of this floton. Can y'all say floton?
What do we say?
Floton. that's close enough.
Floton. That's totally Italian.
That's close enough. Woo-woo. We got all this mud that was stuck between me and my neighbor's house. They helping me knocking it down, putting it in the wheelbarrow, and sending it up front. What? And over on this end, we cutting down these trees that's stuck all back up in here in the yard, and on top floton and mud and all. Got this big old pile of branches here that we got to bring up front. Got the chainsaw giving trouble, of course. Always something. Stacking up a little firewood in the process. Can't let it all go to waste. These helpful fellers over here hauling it up as I cut it up. Of course, now I need to get a chainsaw that works. Already looking good right here. I can actually walk. Still very spongy, as you can see. As you can see right here in the boat cover, still mud all the way back. And that's about 3.5 foot right there still. And then it goes all the way back to the end of my property, which is just past this little tree line right here. And because we still have all the mud, every time it rains, we got us a little bayou right here in the driveway, a little pond over there in the yard. But we getting it. They actually, I guess it was FEMA, that agreed to start pulling mud out of people's yards. They got, well, actually you can see right here. You can see that mud piled up all right there alongside the road. They bringing it from the back of the yards to the street so they can start dumping that. However, when they tried to get my neighbor on this side, the machines kept sinking, and that's the same problem they had in my yard originally. So I don't know how they're gonna solve that. I just hope they do. But little by little, getting it done. All right, so I guess enjoy this time lapse of us getting some work done. It is the next day. Got a little bit of rain this morning. Actually, got a lot of rain this morning. We got a lot done right here. Knocked down a bunch of floton, even though it still looks like a mess. And we still need to get it down to about that level. And this is kind of still level with my slab, which is still a little high. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that today because of how wet and nasty it is. But the crew is about to show up in another 10 minutes. We're going to get right back at it. But look how much they got done. I mean, it didn't look like that much about a house. But this is all mud and floton. I mean, that's a ton of it, y'all. Look at that. Them folks shoveled and wheelbarrowed all of this up to the road. They was even getting some over here you might have seen in the time lapse. They were digging this out for this neighbor, trying to get it to where we can start draining all this water to the front. And maybe we could dry out a little bit. I know I'm in your yard. My bad, my bad. Now, as far as the trees go that we got, I mean, we cut a couple trees, got it cut up. Got a bunch of the branches pulled up here, a bunch of vines. You can see how tall it is. Got a good bit going. Now the problem was is I had a chainsaw with a sharp blade on it that I couldn't keep running, and the chainsaw that I got running that I couldn't keep a sharp blade on. So I went to Lowe's, tried to get a blade for it, a chain, you know, one of the chain blade chain thing, and I got the wrong side. So that was pretty much useless. I'm not running back up front again today. Thankfully, Frank had a chainsaw and he bought the correct chain for his, and it's sharp enough. So if we do get back to cutting these trees today, we'll have a chainsaw. Still got to get my crab traps out of this mud because I want to go crabbing soon. But we're gonna go ahead and take care of the neighbors first before I worry about all my stuff. So today's agenda, let me show you. So I still got to get with my neighbor on that side when he gets back to find out what we're gonna do, since we can't really. Well, I don't know if we can do anything. Oh look, the crew's showing up. But anyway, once I find out, we're gonna split the group, half over there, half over here, and we're gonna get this neighbor and Frank, get this fence all off of there, break that down, haul it to the front. Y'all eat y'all Wheaties this morning, ready to get muddy?
Yeah.
Only half of them sound enthusiastic. Alright, so we're working on tearing that fence down, and there was a snake sighting, so I'll come over here. Want to check out, see what the snake is. Just make sure it don't kill anyone. And Frank's like, hey, the ground's steaming. I'm like, what? So we come down here, take a look-see, and we just got steam dumping out of this here mud. Didn't smell like smoke, but I reached over here and I can feel the heat coming out of there. So the only thing we can imagine it is well, this electrical coming out of this shed. And you know, since we don't want anybody to die, and I don't want to kill any of these helpful folks come down here to help, we got the owner of the shed heading on down. We're gonna take a look at it, see if we can figure it out. Safety second. it's 2-3 days later maybe since they were all here. They worked one more day after what y'all seen. They worked on Frank's house, but I had to go to work. So if you want to see that, you have to go check out Frank's channel over at Louisiana Outdoor Experience. But check this out. So that's right there is where the shed was, and then they had that fence right there. They had the fence behind that. So them guys got all that fence moved. They even picked up all of that floton that was right here that the shed used to rest on, that the fence was resting on. They cleaned up all of that mud under that neighbor's stairs. They got all the floton and extra mud that was leaning up against these posts on Frank's house all the way down. Now it's all cleared out. Got all the floton out from under here. This was all stacked up with extra mud, big floton. In this corner, it was probably up to here with floton. Got that all cleaned up, smoothed out. Got a lot of this knocked out. Still got a lot more work to do right here. Still got to help that neighbor clean all of that out, but they did a fine job. Boy, they knocked out a lot. Let me show y'all. But look at all this mud they got out. Comes all the way around the oak tree, down by the ditch. This pull all the way to where the fence used to be right there. That is a lot of mud, all done by hand, all done with a wheelbarrow. And this right here is the trash pile. Got all the pieces of fence. We even got the chain link fence that was between me and my other neighbor's house. All the trees that they helped me cut, all the vines, got the pieces of chain link, I mean all kind of stuff. And then while I was out today, some more of my patio cover got ripped off and sitting right here. So now I gotta drag that up to the front. Up to that trash pile, add a little bit more to it. But place is still a mess, as you can see in the back, still holding water, still got floton and dirt and mud everywhere. But it is getting better. We're heading in the right direction. And thanks to people like the folks from Oklahoma that came down and helped getting it done a little bit quicker than we would have. So if you guys are watching, I really do appreciate it very much. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for coming down, giving us a hand. And that's pretty much gonna wrap this one up, folks. So you know the drill. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Catch you on the next one.